Hello, today we're going to replace the button on the Smart Eco Rinse. So the first thing you need to do is pull power to the controller, either from the wall or the gray controller itself. Next thing that needs to be done is we'll disconnect the orange communication cable from the destruct box. We're going to disconnect the ozone tubing from the venturi. We will disconnect the water outlet from the venturi. And we're going to unscrew the venturi from the faucet stem. I will take my adjustable wrench and I'm going to loosen the jam nut that holds the destruct box to the faucet. I'll be able to slide the destruct box out and you'll see the wiring harness. Here's the button that's connected to it. Disconnect that. And I'll be able to pull the faucet out. There's a nut that holds the button in place. I'll take my needle nose and loosen that up. Take that off. Take the button out. And I've taken the button out. And here's the button block, faucet assembly. So what we'll do is just go in reverse. Put the new button in. Get that tightened down. Okay. At this point, it's a really good idea to tuck these wires to run along the backside of this faucet stem. Maybe put a couple reps of electrical tape to hold this in place. The biggest culprit in the button failure is this being loose and the stainless countertop not being deburred or having some sharp edges and cutting through the insulation and shorting it out. So that would resemble something kind of like this. Here I've got a shrink wrapped band that I put around it, holds it in place like so. So put this back into the cutout for the faucet through the countertop. Go ahead and reconnect the button to the wiring harness. And as I get closer, I'm going to be tucking the wires inside this cavity of the box off to the side of where the faucet assembly goes through. Once I have that pushed through, screw on the jam nut. Now, before you tighten it down, you need to make sure that this faucet block is pushed all the way closest to the dipper well bowl. And the reason is these two ports here on the faucet block is what we pull a negative vacuum through with our destruct box that comes through this area. So we need as much of this opened up to this hole as possible. So if these holes were cut correctly, you should be able to push this all the way forward. We have plenty of room right here for the airflow to come out and the shroud fit properly. I do put the shroud on before I tighten it up. It helps me with alignment. The next thing you want to make sure is that none of the wires are poking through underneath the destruct box to where they can become cut when you tighten it down. So I'll take my adjustable wrench and go ahead and get that nice and tight. Alignment still looks good. I'm going to put my venturi back on. You may want to do a couple wraps of Teflon tape. Okay. Go ahead and put the tube for the outlet on. Well, that didn't work. Let's try it again. Probably have to put some pliers to it. And then the ozone tube, and then the orange communication cable. And that's how you change out a button.